I'm Hannah Moore, CFP, a practicing financial planner and educator. I'm on a mission to change the way people think and talk about money. Let's get started. Today, I want to talk with you about one of the number one secrets of success for people in their personal finance, and that is to automate your finances. In all the couples that I've worked with and individuals that I've worked with, no matter if they're 7, 8 figures of wealth or they're just starting out, one of the common themes I see over and over again is that couples or families automate their finances. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of what this looks like in a minute, but let's talk about why this is so important and why this can have such an impact for you. So, first of all, we are faced with so many decisions every single day. This idea of decision fatigue is so real. I'm a financial planner, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom of littles, and there is just so much that happens in my life. I know by the time I get to my office, my email opens up, I've already made so many decisions in a day. And so this idea that I'm going to be continuing to make these great financial decisions every day, every week, every month, it's possible, and some people certainly do that, but it's not easy. And that's one of the things that I found over and over again is how can we make finances easy? Because if we can make it easy, it becomes light. It becomes so much less of a burden. It's not having to take up this brain space, right? We can identify it, deal with it, and then just move it out so that I can go enjoy the things that really bring life to me. And that's going to be things with my family, things with my little girls, the creativity. There's so much to life. I would say this is what it really means to be living wealthy. But we don't want to be having to make these financial decisions every single day, every single week, and every single month. And so when we start looking at your financial goals, when we break them out, that's really where we can say, okay, how do we automate this? Well, it goes to the second reason why this is so important. When we automate our finances, oftentimes, and not always, but oftentimes, we can tie it to our financial goals. Now, for some of you, you hear financial goals and you're like, okay, that's easy. I know what my financial goals are. That is not always easy for people, right? I've struggled with what my financial goals are. So it's this great idea of what does this actually look like? So let me walk you through some examples of this. So one financial goal could be to get out of credit card debt, right? If you have credit card debt, you're working through that. It's a huge financial goal. And so one of the things you can do is really break it up into smaller pieces. Stop using your credit card, whatever that could look like for you, but continuing just to make this progress on it, right? Building up systems and structures around you that will help you do that. Another one is an emergency fund, right? Making sure that you guys have enough money so that if something happens, if your car breaks down. A couple of weeks ago, our car broke down, right? It was just a battery, but it was a night and day difference because we had an emergency fund. I wasn't worried about money anymore. I was at the library with my 3-year-old. I figured out how to get her home, came home, and it was so easy to figure out how we were going to solve this money because we weren't worried about what a $150 tow truck fee would do to our finances because we had that emergency fund. That peace of mind that it gave me was so, so powerful. So having that goal, so it could be having this emergency fund, right? And once you kind of get there, then you get to look into other goals that you can have. So one of the most common ones that I see, especially in my work as a financial planner, is helping people save for retirement, right? It can feel so far off, and it is for a lot of people far off, but it's something that if you can start systematically saving right now, it can make a world of difference later. And so, having this goal in mind of what this can look like. So let me tell you about my husband and I. I'm a financial planner. I help people do this all day, but I hadn't done it for ourselves. And there was always this nagging underlying stress in my life of, are we okay? Are we going to have is our retirement going to be okay? What does this look like for us? And it wasn't concrete for me. And so I built a financial plan for ourselves, for our family, where we know that we need to save a set amount every single month into our retirement accounts. And if we do that, I know that when we get to age 65, that we're not going to have to worry about money. Now, this is breaking it down, this huge number, right, that we say that we want to have for retirement. And everybody's number is going to be different. That'll be another episode. But saying, what is this to you? It feels so unachievable. But when we break it down into what does that look like monthly, it becomes far more achievable. And so what we've done is we have just set this up. It doesn't even hit our personal account. It just goes straight into this account from our business account into this account. Now, what this looks like if you're not a business owner, if you work for a larger company, oftentimes this is your 401k. It's saving into your 401k, where it's just automatically every paycheck, a portion of your money is going into your retirement account. Now, I'm going to put the caveat on here that it's really important that you set this up correctly, because I have seen people put money into their 401ks and it's just sitting in cash. So we don't want that. You want to be sure that you're actually investing in different funds. But when you have that money going into your 401k every single paycheck, the technical term that we use is dollar cost averaging. What you're doing is you're investing in all of the ups and downs of the market, and most importantly, the downs of the market. And it's just doing its job, right? It can be so overwhelming to think about saving for retirement or saving for whatever it may be. But by automatically doing that, it's going to start out and you'll be like, this is so small, it's not working, like what the heck? And then over time, you're going to see it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And it just works. It's one of the coolest things to see on that. Or the other way that I see people saving for retirement, if they don't work for a large company, they're not business owners themselves, is you can just have a portion of your money. Like if you get paid by somebody else, just automatically, you can actually have like a split on your paycheck where part of it's going to go into an investment account or something like that you can, or into your emergency fund if that's where you're at in your financial life, where you can have that money being split out and just going to those places. And then again, is one of the things that people who are really successful with their finances, what they do. There is this myth that you have to have a lot of money in order to be able to retire. And there's certainly some truth to that. Having a higher income certainly helps, right? Like let's be real. But one of my favorite stats is when you look at the average millionaire, when you look at the professions or the careers that they're in, a top 5 career is teachers. And I love this because, everywhere you go, my goodness, do teachers get paid enough? I think we all agree. But the answer is no. And if we don't all agree, the vast majority of us do, that, teachers they're not commanding 6-figure salaries. They're in a different kind of, they don't get paid as much as, as other jobs do. But what teachers are really, really good at is setting up a structure and then just executing, right? This is not the fun or crazy thing. It's just setting things up and just doing it a little bit every single month, every single paycheck, and it pays off so much. Now, I know I'm talking about retirement and I've talked a little about emergency funds, but this is also for other goals that you may have. It could be going on the vacation, right? I can't tell you how many people come into my office and I ask them, what is it that you want to be doing? What would it look like for you guys to be living wealthy today? And so often I'll hear things like, I wish we were taking a vacation. Or we need to do this or we want to do this or that. And so often these things, if we can break them down into smaller chunks that we can just automate. So many people I know have just a vacation account that they open up and they put money into it every single month. And just by that little piece and doing that, it can mean that in 12 months, you're not in the same position, because that's what I never want to see people who come into my office, where a year later, they're in that same position, having the same struggles. And so that's really the power of this automation is you set it with intention, and then not that you forget it, right? Like we all need to be like, keep our pulse on things, but it just works. And I'll tell you, I see it over and over again with my most successful clients. Again, whether they're 7, 8 figures, or they're just starting out and it's their first time ever investing, or their first time where they have any excess left in their finances, is that they automate their finances. So I encourage you today to find one way you can automate your finances. It could even be that you set up your credit card to be auto-paid out of your checking account. Whatever it may be, figure out a way to automate your finances, because our finances can be easy. And that's my hope for you, is that they become easy and light, and that you can truly live wealthy now. Thanks for listening to this episode of Everyday Money with Hannah Moore. If you like what you heard, subscribe and check out livewealthynow.com. We have a lot more resources to help you live wealthy now.